glass. This is the Deco Mesh Pumpkin.
I'm watching.
All you really have to do is just wrap some Deco Mesh around your wire wreath frame. No, I'm being silly.
Romper, room.
Originally, I'm just going to mute everybody here. Just go ahead and unmute yourselves if you have a question. Originally, I was going to go ahead and I was going to have you cut 10-inch mesh to put leaves on. But I don't know. I don't think we really need to do that, because if you have the green Deco Mesh ribbon, you can add that and make it kind of look like leaves, like it does in the picture. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Now, let me get a bottle of water. 1 second. No coffee tonight, so let's spill my coffee. It was very embarrassing the last time. It's the first time I ever had coffee during class, and I ended up spilling it. No more. I'd rather spill water than coffee. Okay, let's see. So like I said, this is the green Deco Mesh ribbon. If you have 4-inch, that's fine. Hey, Robin. If you have 4-inch, that's fine. This happens to be 2.5-inch. I think I had this left over from when we made our Easter carrot.
Can we cut our pop cleaners in half to have enough?
Yeah, I did cut mine in half. I'm sorry. I was going to tell you that in a minute.
Okay, I don't know if I have enough orange ones. That's all I was asking.
If you don't have enough orange pipe cleaners, you can use zip ties, or you can use any color, because basically when we attach our mesh, the zip ties are all going to be in the back.
Okay.
So if you don't, even if you don't have orange, it doesn't really matter, because you're not going to see them anyway. So again, this is the 2.5-inch Deco Mesh ribbon. If you have 4-inch, I think someone had messaged me that all they had. Hey, Jane, I saw that you said you were going to try to pop in and watch, and there's Debbie Motley. Someone said I think they only had the 4-inch. That's fine. We're not going to do anything crazy fancy with it. We're just going to kind of cut some strips, and we're going to tie them together, and we're going to attach them to the top, and they're going to kind of hang down. Kind of just add a little bit of color, because after, we're going to do that first, then we're going to put our fall leaves on and our other stuff on the top. If you want to if you have any green 10-inch mesh, and I think I had some left over from when I did my zinnia, because I decided not to add my leaves to the zinnia. If you do have any green 10-inch mesh, if you just want to cut them into 10-inch pieces, and just do the little leaf fold, which is just bringing the two ends together and then pinching them like that. You can kind of twist it and do this kind of thing and put your pipe cleaner around the middle and sort of add your leaves like that after we put our orange on. Or you can even kind of do that. See how I did that? And then you can kind of zip tie it onto the back. And it's very easy to do if you want to add leaves. So again, I know I put in the supply list to buy a roll of green mesh. Again, if you want to add the leaves, just get your 10-inch piece, 10 by 10-inch piece of green. Just do the fold together like that and pinch it. And again, you can do that to make your leaves to add, or you can kind of twist it, and it kind of looks like that. So it's very easy to do. So by all means, if you want to add some leaves, I would do that before, because what we're going to do is we're going to put our orange mesh on, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to zip tie some pieces of this to the back or to the top, and they're going to kind of hang down, and then we're going to put our leaves and everything. I'm sorry, our fall leaves and foliage and stuff. And that's when you'd want to put these on. That's entirely up to you. I don't really like this. This is sort of like a non-metallic green, and I always thought it was kind of ugly. That's why I hate to use it. But anyway. And I'm very excited because I forgot that I had this orange mesh, and I was going to go out and buy some. And this orange mesh happens to be part of that really cool stash I got. I don't know if you saw my post that day. I belong to the local Facebook garage sale, and a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I think I posted it that, I'm trying to fix my camera here, that someone had posted a bunch of mesh, like 10 or 12 rolls of mesh for like $5. I'm like, hell yeah, where do you want to meet? So this is one of the rolls of mesh that I got. So I was very excited that I had that. I didn't have to buy another roll of mesh. You can probably use 10-inch if you want, but 21 work better for you. Let me fix my blurriness here. Does anybody have any questions at all before we get started? Like I said, you can use zip ties, you can use pipe cleaners. It doesn't really matter what color you have because they're going to be in the back. Now, this is a 14-inch wreath form. I've seen tutorials where they use 18-inch, where they use 16-inch. I know, Gina, you said that you have a large one that you want to make. What size wreath form did you end up getting? Can you hear me, Gina? She's Gina.
I'm here. I left my mouse at work and I can't.
Oh, I know. I hate using the one on the laptop. I know you said you wanted to make a big one. What size wreath form did you get?
I got it from Hobby Lobby and it's like 19 inches across from side to side.
Okay. And you have 2 rolls. You may not need to use 2 rolls.
Of the mesh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Gina's making a big one, so that's fine. She's got enough mesh. This is a 14-inch wreath form from the Dollar Tree. 1 roll of mesh will probably be enough for this. I'm sure it'll be enough. If you have a 16 or an 18, you're definitely going to need 2. A 16-inch wreath form will probably take maybe 1 1/4 rolls. 18, or like Gina has a 19, is probably going to take close to 2 rolls. But it's always good to have extra, no matter what project you're doing. If I tell you to have 1 roll of mesh, just buy 2, just to be on the safe side. It's always a good idea to have extra, instead of not having enough. All right. So basically, if you feel comfortable just letting your mesh roll on the floor, that's totally fine. We're just going to go ahead and start like we normally start, like with making a poof wreath. Let me just cut off my extra here. And I'm sorry I didn't get to send the zinnia out today. And the zinnia is actually in 2 parts. So I just got done downloading it from Zoom, and then I uploaded it to YouTube. So those will go out either tonight or first thing in the morning. Now, just go ahead and start by just pinching the end of your 21-inch mesh together. Just like you're going to start making a poof. It doesn't really matter how much you have on the end. A couple inches is good. Okay, now I like to start at one of my crossbars here on the outside, okay? So just go ahead and kind of put it through the wire here. So this part is going to be sticking through the back. Okay, now again, I've got half pipe cleaners here, but you can definitely use zip ties. In fact, what I think I might do, I think I might use a zip tie just for this first one, because this one's going to sort of be my anchor, and I want it to be tight. Where are my zip ties? I want the small ones. I just had them when I did just finishing up my zinnia, and of course now I can't find them. I guess I'm going to have to use one of the longer ones. Doesn't really matter if you still want to go ahead and do a pipe cleaner, but I just feel like just for this first piece, putting a zip tie on is just going to make it a little bit more secure. And kind of go around to the back. So it's just anchored to my crossbar here. Now, what you're going to want to do is when I'm, hold on, I hate when these pieces are coming off the end. Let's just get rid of them right now. So we don't have to keep pulling them off. There. When you're here we go. The day they make a mesh that doesn't fray, I'm going to be a happy girl. I just let that fall right to the floor because that's going to be a pain. When you're folding your mesh, what you're going to want to do, good Lord, is take your ends, okay? Now, instead of just grabbing it any which way and pulling it, sort of make sure that your ends are tucked in. Like that. Just sort of tuck them in a little bit. And then you go ahead and you kind of pull it. And this first piece is only going to go from one crossbar to the next, okay? It's going to be kind of short. And what we're going to do is sort of going to kind of go around the outside, like that. One short little piece, just like that, from the crossbar that we started at to the next crossbar. And it's going to kind of go around the outside of the wreath frame, sort of to hide the wreath frame. You can pull it tight, doesn't matter. But see how it's kind of going around the outside? And you can take one of your pipe cleaners. Now this one's actually going to be, I told you the pipe cleaners are going to be around the back. This one's kind of actually going to be around the front. Just that one piece. We're going to tie it in the back. And it's just going to kind of go around that one. Oh Lord, where's this coming from? Here. There. So it's kind of going from the one cross section to the next, the one crossbar to the next, and it's going around the outside wire to kind of cover it. You see that? And it's a small piece, but that's okay. I'm going to bring my mesh over here so I'm not stepping on it. Don't worry about your little piece here. That's going to be hidden. Don't worry about that. It's going to be in the back. Now, we have our first piece from one crossbar to the next, and it's kind of wrapped around the wire because you kind of want to cover it. Okay. And do the same thing as you're pulling your mesh. Kind of tuck your ends in. And make your next piece. And we're going to twist it. And we're just going to go right up next to the other one. Just like that. See how it's right next to the other one? And you're gonna go up right above where you put your first zip tie. And you're gonna anchor it. I'm gonna anchor this one to the outside wire. And as we start moving across, we're gonna be anchoring them in different spots, obviously. But this next piece I'm putting on, you can even overlap it a little bit if you want. You can kind of overlap that first piece a little bit if you want. Now I'm gonna go right above where I put my zip tie on this first piece. And I'm gonna go around to the back. See, maybe you should have orange because you probably are gonna see that. I think I spoke too soon. You are gonna see your pipe cleaners. But I think what I was trying to say is that as you're adding each piece, you're gonna cover up that previous one. You can cut off those extra pieces of zip tie after. And that's basically it. You just keep going back and forth. No crazy ruffles or poofs or spirals. Just make sure, like I said, each time you make your next length to go across, that your ends are tucked in. And you just pull it. See, but you can see what I mean now. I'm actually going over where I put that pipe cleaner, so you're not even going to see it. So when I'm coming back down the other way, you're not even going to see the pipe cleaner that I put on there. It's going to be covering it. You just go right back down. You know, smooth it out if you want to play with it a little bit and make sure that it's nice and smooth. Go right back down, and again, go right over the last one, and you can still secure it on that. Well, let me think for a second here. Where do I want to secure it? Yeah, that's going to have to go to the outside bar too. So we're going to go up and over to the outside bar, right over this last one. And secure it. And that's it. Back and forth. That's all we're going to do. You can do these in any color too. I saw someone, I think Hardworking Mom just did one with like a tan, or I want to say a gold colored mesh. And it was really pretty. Again, just make sure your ends are tucked in. And just smooth it out. You may have to twist it a little bit. Give it a little bit of a twist. And you're going back up the other side. And I think we're just going to continue going to the outside bar, because when you get across, you're going to see that you're not going to be able just to go straight up. You kind of have to go around a little bit so they're next to each other. So instead of just going straight up, kind of go around a little bit when you're attaching it, because it's okay to overlap it so none of your wreath form shows. should even be sitting here. This is like a sitting project. I'll grab my chair. And it's going to have some layering to it. It's going to have some bumps. It's not going to be totally smooth, but you know, pumpkins aren't totally smooth either. They're kind of bumpy. I'm going to grab my chair. So you guys, I don't know who's doing the fall tree tomorrow. I know you are, Gina. The tomato cage tree. Who else has joined us here? Hey, Mimi. Hey, Jackie. But Gina Jennings went to Hobby Lobby and they have fall colored Christmas ornaments. Gold and I don't know whether they have brown, you said orange. Perfect if you want to put them on your fall tree. And all Christmas is 40% off now at Hobby Lobby, so hooray. Let me get a drink here.
There were orange, gold, red, brown, and a muted green in one of those tubes. They
Like
had
a
been
moss,
originally $19.99. They're gorgeous.
like a moss green?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
40% off, ladies, until after Christmas. So again, just go back and forth, tuck your ends in, just pull it across. I'm fighting with my mesh here. I feel like I needed to make this one a little bit tighter because it's like sliding on me here. You know what I might even do? It might help you to tie your next one to your previous one. If you can follow what I'm saying here, so that way it won't slide. I noticed my last piece that I just secured was sliding. So I just took the pipe cleaner from the last one and tied it to this next one. So it doesn't slide. It was sort of trying to slide up on me and my wreath form was showing. So just kind of be cognizant of that as you're going back and forth, that your wreath form's not showing. And you can kind of see as you're going along where you need to attach it. I'm just continuing going around on the outside bar. Now, what I mean by what I just said here is, let me flip this over. You just go ahead and you tie it off like that. What might happen is it's going to slide. See how it's sliding a little bit? You're going to show your wreath form. You just want to twist that really tight and then take your previous pipe cleaner that you just put on and tie those together. It's going to keep it together for you. So again, as you're going back down, you may need to give it like a little bit of a twist. You want this bottom part to be facing down, so you may have to give it a twist here. So the parts that you're tucking in are underneath. Oh, what the heck happened here? There we go. I think sometimes it just kind of goes blurry by itself. For no reason, not hitting my camera.
Christina,
Yeah.
you're not in the camera real good.
I'm what?
You're not in the camera real good at that angle.
I'm not in the camera? You can't see me?
Well, yeah, some, but when you bring your wreath close to you, you can't see all of it, exactly what you're doing.
Really?
It's not bad. Just, when you pull your wreath to you.
Hold on
Or
a
you
second.
hold
I can't hear you, Debbie. Hold on a minute. Let me turn my volume up. I can never really seem to hear you that good whenever you talk. Hold on. Where the heck did my video go? Hold on here. There it is. Whoop. So you mean when I pull it to me like that? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even realize I was doing that. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I get so busy doing what I'm doing. The mesh is just getting all twisted up over here. I'm just trying to lift it up, Debbie, to pull my mesh is all I'm doing. You know what? I don't think I can sit, because me sitting is kind of, I can't really get a good look at what I'm doing when I'm sitting, so I have to stand again. So again, you're gonna need to kind of twist it a little bit at the top because you want that part that you pulled in, those center pieces to be on the bottom. Just make sure you're kind of twisting that at the top a little bit after you bring it back down, or before you bring it back down, I should say. I want to see something here. I'm wondering if it might look a little bit better if I go down to the second bar and attach it. I want to see something here. I'm doing a little test here. Oh, just lost my pipe cleaner. Don't do this yet. I'm just testing something real quick here. I want to see how this is going to look. I'm doing a little test here. All right, I think what I'm going to do now, go ahead. Did somebody have a question?
It's Lenore. That's how I was doing mine. I was going under and tying it to the second bar underneath.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that now. I think that looks a little bit better.
Yeah, because then my ties don't show.
Yeah.
My,
Yep. I mean, I don't think it looks bad right now with this first part that I did, but
Yeah,
I can
mine showed weird.
definitely see how, and I'm going to show you guys what she's talking about. It looks better going under to the second bar because then your ties aren't showing. I'm not going to go back and redo the rest of it, but here's what we just did here. So instead of doing the outside bar like I've been doing, go ahead and take your piece of mesh and pull it like we have been. Tuck your ends in. I'm still going to attach it to the previous pipe cleaner though to keep it from sliding. I think that helps. I'm going to show you what we just did here. Instead of doing the outside bar like we did for the first few pieces, pull it as tight as you can. Okay, we're going to go around. So instead of doing the outside bar, we're going to go around to the back. Get your zip tie, get your pipe cleaner, and go up through your second bar here. Or you can even go down with your pipe cleaner and attach it that way. I mean, whatever's easier for you. I'm actually going to go up around the second bar with my pipe cleaner. Like that, second bar. And I'm going to, so I've actually pulled my mesh right over that top bar, okay, down to the second bar, and then tie it. So you have no wire frame showing and you have no pipe cleaner showing. It's all in the back. But again, you know, if you're doing it with me now and you already started doing it the way that we had been doing it, you know, I can barely see mine, the few that I did. But it does look a little bit better going right around and tying it to the second bar. You just have to keep on twisting your mesh as you go along.
Christina, do we cover the backs when we're all done with these?
You can. You can get a piece of felt, or you can get one of the round placemats from Walmart. Have you ever used those to cover the back of your wreaths?
I bought some at Dollar Tree.
They actually fit perfectly.
Yeah.
They you know, I don't know if the ones at Dollar Tree are the same size as the ones at Walmart, but they will fit perfectly. They measure exactly 15 inches. They fit perfect. And I just zip tied on. I just actually mailed one to my customer in Florida. And I had zip tied one of the placemats onto the back, and it looks perfect. I mean, if you're going to be giving it away or you're going to be having it on a door that you don't want to get scratched, definitely. It's very easy to do. And the zip ties go right through. They go
Yeah.
right through it. So that does look a lot better having it right around the top of the, right around the outside of that bar. Boy, my mesh is just getting all twisted. So again, take your piece, go right around to the back. You're going to zip tie it to the second bar, or you're going to do pipe cleaner to the second bar. I'm going to go up through my second bar with my pipe cleaner first, just so I have it ready. And lay your mesh in there. Again, if you want to take this pipe cleaner, you can even kind of go around the bar next to it to give it a little bit more security so it doesn't slide, even though it's not going to really matter because you're going to have so much mesh on there. How's it going, Miss Gina? Gina's busy. You just want to really try to pull it as tight as you can. And it's kind of hard to do when you're trying to keep your pipe cleaner in place too, but
It's a little harder to do the bigger one. But,
what's that?
It's a little harder to do the bigger one.
The bigger frame?
Yeah, but you just have to make sure. I've been wrapping mine around and anchoring them to the bars anyway.
Uh-huh.
hold on, but it's when it gets bigger, you've got more space to cover.
Right.
Okay.
Once you get it all on there, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not like it's going to come
No,
off. So.
my views of everybody got pushed to the side, and I want them back to the top. How do I do that?
You want to do what?
I usually have everybody at the top of my video, top of the screen.
Now they're on the side?
Yeah, it's on the side, and I want it on the top. How do I get back on the top?
I don't know what you're using. Are you using your laptop? Or are you using?
I'm using the laptop.
I think the only way you can do that is to switch from gallery to speaker view. I'm not sure where the settings are.
Oh, okay. That's what I did. I hit the. Okay.
Did you fix it? It's
I
like,
will.
I think the only difference is our gallery or speaker view.
Okay.
That's what's going to change the look of your Zoom. All of a sudden, it's really warm in my room. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe I have my fan on. I have it on medium.
What do you want? So take the paper from the drawer.
So I don't know if you guys heard the news, but I live in Rome, New York. Do you know who was in Rome, New York today?
Not me.
Anybody watch the news? President Trump landed in Rome, New York today
Oh.
because he is speaking in Utica, which is about half an hour from here. So my daughter was leaving work, and he actually landed at Griffiths, which used to be an old Air Force base. They still have landing strips and so on and so forth, and airplanes flying in and out. So that's where he was. And she's had a hard time getting out of work because of all the security and the traffic. And now this piece is sliding on me, and that's going to make me crazy. So I don't really like to talk politics, but that's all I'm going to say is he was here. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about that. And he is president, so, it's kind of exciting, I suppose. We're going to be able to fix this. If these pieces seem to be sliding on you, don't panic. Let me just get this one piece on here. Hmm. I don't really have another zip tie here. I don't want my other zip tie one. I was going to try to attach it to that one, but I can't find it now. I think I'm going to try something here. There. I need to put my AC on, ladies. I'm going to melt in a second here. Almost done.
You are too funny when you say you have to turn the AC on.
Why?
Where I live, my AC runs from probably the end of April to like the 1st of December.
You just don't turn it off.
No, it's on auto where it'll cut out automatically.
Oh.
Yeah. So you just kill me when you say, "Oh, I'm gonna turn my AC on." It's like,
Well, I always feel like it's too noisy still, even though I have a new AC here.
I don't ever hear it.
Really?
Yeah.
My
You're
sister,
good.
my sister actually gave me hers, and it's like brand new because she just buys it. She bought it and like never used it. I'm like, why aren't you using your AC? I saw it like sitting on her chair. No, I don't really need it. I'm like, well, give it to me. So I put the noisy one that I had in my room in the front room. This piece is just going to slide on me here, and I'm not quite sure why it's sliding. I put the noisy one up front, and I took the quiet one from my office here, my craft room. Hold on a minute here. I got to get this one to stop sliding on me. It's going to make me crazy. And we're almost done. Now this dang piece is just going to keep sliding on me, so let me see what I can do here. I'm going to try something here. Might be a little bit sneaky, and I'm coming over to this crossbar with this piece here. I'm coming over to this crossbar here. I'm just going to anchor this one to this crossbar because it keeps wanting to slide. And I feel like if I can anchor this one, the other ones will be okay. It's sliding over, and I don't want it to slide. So I'm anchored it right to the crossbar. I don't think this one's going to reach if I do that one, but I think it's just this one piece that keeps sliding. So that's what I did with that one. Let's come back around. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to make things work. Now this is good because I do have a crossbar here too. Let me see.
Okay, Christina, I tried something,
Yeah.
and if you use the zip ties on this whole thing, you can use the zip ties to pull the groups together to keep them from sliding.
Ah, that's a good idea.
It's working much better than finagling with the pot cleaners.
That's a good idea.
So
I
that's
think I'm gonna go ahead and put my zip ties on afterwards. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm pretty much covered here, but I just want to make sure that they're not gonna slide. Now, if you're just watching now, it's kind of hard to explain what we're doing. Once you start doing it, you're gonna see what we're saying. Hold on a minute here. What happened here? This one's a little bit loose. You're going to see as you go along what you're going to need to do to make this work. Let's put it that way. Now, again, when we get to the outside, you want to do the same thing that we did over here. You want to make this, you're going to anchor this last piece between these two crossbars here. The two crossbars. You're going to anchor this last piece right around the outside. And I'm going to show you in a second what Cindy's talking about here. Let me just get this last piece on here. Because you're going to notice that as you get going, your mesh pieces kind of want to slide. And you don't want that, obviously. Let me just get this last piece on here. I'm actually going to go around the outside with my last piece. Just to make sure the outside of your frame is covered. My battery's gonna die. Why do I always forget that? Hold on a second here. I always forget that. And my little light goes on. Sorry, I keep lifting up my wreath form. I know Debbie said it's hard for you to see, but I'm trying to maneuver my mesh here. Actually, gonna go around one more time. I'm blurry. Hold on, ladies. I can see. Give me 1 second here. Oh, no, I'm not blurry, am I? Hold on. I didn't even use a full roll of mesh. Now, where the heck this extra piece came from back here, but I think it kind of slid around to the back. I think mine is pretty much covered now. I want to kind of show you what Gina was saying. Let me cut that off. I'm actually going to cut it, and I'm going to anchor this to the back. So you can't see it. So that piece that I just snipped off, I'm just going to kind of bring it around to the back and tie it down. Mine's pretty much covered.
My big form, I'll pick that up. I think I'll use about a roll and maybe I'm looking at the roll here real quick.
Roll and a quarter, maybe?
No, you got between a roll and a half and a roll and 3/4.
Yeah,
I
you,
made sure
you
I
had a
had
big
clear-
reed frame, right, right.
Yeah, because I had so much stuff, so much open space in the middle. I wanted to make sure that there wasn't any holes.
Right. Actually, I don't think I'm going to need to zip tie my pieces in the back. I've got it, so it's pretty much.
I will tell you something else that would make a good. You could do with this top wreath like this.
What's
You
that?
can make You can make it to a Christmas ornament.
Oh yeah, that'd be cute.
Now do red or gray or whatever, and then put some little swirly things on it. But
Yeah.
use the bow at the top to make the ornament holder.
That'd be
I was
cute.
just thinking about that.
I thought I saw last year somebody made like pieces of like Christmas candy. Like they tied mesh around the form and then they like twisted mesh on the end to look like Christmas.
Oh, that would be cute too.
I saw that. Yeah, like pieces of candy. And they
Yeah.
tied ribbon around, like they actually wrapped their wreath in the mesh and then they tied it with ribbon here and then they had the mesh sticking out like a piece of Christmas candy.
Yeah, like little candy. Yeah, that'd be cute.
I want to say Elaine David. If anybody ever watches Elaine David Creations, I'm pretty sure it was her. Now, here's what I'm doing. Now, if you're doing yours, like Gina said, and you're having trouble with your mesh sliding, you can definitely go around to the back and sort of get some zip ties and tie your little sections together with zip ties. And that'll keep them together and they'll keep them from sliding. And you're not going to see the zip ties because they're in the back. But I found that now that I'm done, the mesh is kind of like holding itself together. It's not sliding. So I think you're going to be okay. And pumpkins are not perfectly round. Tell me who's ever found a pumpkin that's perfectly round. They are more oval shaped. They're not perfectly shaped. This one kind of is a little bit round. My goal was to get my ends to stick out a little bit more, which is what I'm trying to do now. So it's a little bit more oval shaped. But, you know, if you don't get it oval shaped, it's not the end of the world. But mine actually now is kind of sticking together. I don't have any wreath. I mean, the back doesn't look very pretty, but I don't have any spots of my wreath frame showing at all. What you kind of want to determine now when you're done is which is the pretty part. And what I mean by that is kind of look at it. And if you're not really happy with one side of it, that's what you're going to want to make your top out of. I see Judy Nunnally here. I think this is her first class. I didn't see her here before. Hi, Judy. All right, so I think this is pretty good. Kind of tuck it in a little bit here and there. And you know what? Nobody ever said that you can't use a little hot glue too, to sort of keep your pieces in place. How does yours look, Lenore? You still with me? I need a drink.
Yep, I was muted.
I know that.
It's pretty good.
I muted you.
My one side is, you know where you start?
Yeah.
It means that side is fuller or more covered than where I ended. If that makes
Well, what I did, I kind of had to go around my end a couple of times.
Okay.
So I wrapped a little bit more mesh around the end when I ended, like my last part, than when I started. That part was a little bit challenging for me. I had to kind of wrap it around a couple of times. You can see how it looks like there's more over here than there is over here.
Yeah, I had a harder time ending it.
But if you're patient with it, and like I said, if you need to maybe do some zip ties to tie them together in the back to get them to stay together, like here's a little bit of my wreath form showing up here, so I may do my top there. But once you get everything on, you know, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not like you're going to hang it on your wall and it's going to slide off. And if you need to put a little bit of hot glue underneath, you know, to keep your pieces together, you can definitely do that.
Is that why they put leaves on the bottom to kind of keep it together too?
Beads, is that what you said?
Leaves, you see where some people put leaves on it?
Yeah, you could do that. Yep, I've seen that.
Because that would probably keep it from sliding a little bit too.
Right. Mine seems to be keeping together pretty well. I'm not quite sure how I did that, but it seems to be sticking together pretty well. You know, mesh likes to stick to itself too, so
Yeah. It's cute.
whatever little tricks that you can do to keep it together. I think I just got lucky, honestly. I'm sort of just moving some of my pieces around a little bit, but I think that looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So what we're gonna do now, unless you need me to wait, if you're still working on, whew, it's not warm in here. I'm gonna plug my glue gun in. What time is it? Well, it still took us a good hour to do that. I thought for some reason it was gonna be quicker than that. Okay. So here's our 2.5 inch ribbon. And my goal really is just to get a little bit of green in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a few pieces of this, maybe 2 or 3. I've gotta figure out how long I want them to be. I think we're going to do a couple of pieces at 20 inches, 18 or 20 inches. Maybe I'll do 3. I'm pretty sure they have this 2.5 inch Deco mesh ribbon at Hobby Lobby too. I'm almost positive I've seen it there. Somebody's chatting me.
I had to get all of my 2.5 inch ribbon. Now, you might be able to get Christmas colors in this, but any of the other colors, I had to order all mine off Craft Outlet.
You mean for this Deco mesh ribbon?
But yes, the 2.5 inch Deco mesh. They may have it in Christmas colors there, but they won't have it in other colors.
I don't remember where I got this, honestly. I'm being dead honest. I don't remember where I got it. Maybe it was Craft Outlet.
I had to order all of mine from Craft Outlet.
Okay.
That's just an FYI.
So all I did was I cut three pieces at 20 inches, and I'm just going to go ahead and pinch them in the middle, because you're not going to see this top part here. This part's going to be covered by your leaves. It doesn't even really matter what color you use to attach it to your wreath from. I'm just going to get a pipe cleaner. If you want to add leaves, like I showed you at the beginning of the video, you're more than welcome to do that. Just want to make sure that it's centered. Like I said, find out what part of your wreath you think is prettier, is cleaner, and that'll be your bottom, and you can add everything. I don't really want to see the ugly part, but the part that you think is a little bit not as pretty as the other. So I'm just going to kind of reach through my mesh here and find a piece of my wreath form I can attach this to. Again, my goal here is to get a little bit of green in here. You know, I don't really want to put a bow because I don't think a bow would look right. I'm just trying to attach some green. Let's see how this looks. Once we attach, I can go ahead and kind of spread it out a little bit.
Did you just tie that on with the pipe cleaner?
Cleaner. Yep. I just went right through the wreath form and tied it on with the pipe cleaner. I'm going to make it a little bit tighter here. And it's not going to show because my leaves and everything are going to go around it.
All right, what do I want to put on top of mine?
Just kind of want them to be spread out over the pumpkin a little bit. That's all, just to give it a little bit of green. And I'm going to stick my leaves and so on and so forth around that. My fall leaves. Now again, like I showed you at the beginning of the video, if you want to get some 10-inch, this is a different color. This isn't a metallic, but you can definitely go ahead and add leaves this way. You know, and just go ahead and just attach it with the pipe cleaner to the back. Maybe put one on that side and put one on that side. But this is not a metallic, so it's really not going to go good with this metallic mesh ribbon, so I really can't use that. All right, let's see what we have for goodies here. If you want to put a bow on there, you can. If you have a plaid ribbon, that would look pretty. I think I even have a plaid ribbon here. Let me see. Something like this would look nice. Let me see if I can't throw a little bit of ribbon in there. Let's be daring. Maybe we'll put a little ribbon in there too. This is really pretty. Where did I get this? I like that. I didn't even know I had that. I'm just measuring my loops 8 inches because I don't really want big, big loops. So just go ahead. I think my tail was 10 inches. And then I measured 8 inches for a loop. And just a quick little hand-tied bow, which I'm actually getting a little bit better at. This is actually the same on both sides. You don't really need to twist it like you normally do when you're making a hand-tied bow. If you have a ribbon that only has a pattern on one side.
Your green ones, how long did you cut those?
20 inches.
Oh, 20, okay.
Yeah. Just kind of make sure your loops are about the same size. I'm not going to add a really big bow, just maybe a little one for the middle. Hand-tied bows really, I'm finding out, are a lot easier than you think. You just kind of go back and forth with your loops, pinching it in the middle. Make sure they're all about the same size. I'll just do 3 on each side here. And then my tail, again, I want to be about 10 inches. Let me switch my hands here so I can cut it, because I don't think I'm going to be able to cut my ribbon with my left hand. Find another pipe cleaner here. Not a real big fancy bow. You can definitely, if you have a pro bow, dig your pro bow out and put a little pro bow on the top or on the bottom, like Lenore said. I've seen some people add leaves and ribbon on the bottom too. And find another spot here on my wreath form that I can add my bow. I think I'm going to try to go in the same spot that I tied my green on. Just kind of push some of your mesh out of the way so you can get your pipe cleaner through.
How did you make that bow again?
What's that?
I said, how did you make that bow?
You weren't watching?
I was finagling something else and didn't realize what
I just went ahead and I did, my first piece was my tail. I measured it 10 inches. And then I just did 8-inch loops. So I took the ribbon, I had my tail at 10 inches, and then I pinched it, and then I measured out 8 inches and I made the loop. So each of these loops is 8 inches. And I did 3 on each side. I just pinched it in the middle, and then I did another 10-inch tail on the bottom.
And then you twist it.
Well, I didn't have to twist mine because my ribbon is the same on both sides. But if you have a ribbon that has a pattern on one side and not on the other, you're going to have to twist it as you're making your loops and you're pinching it in the middle. You're going to have to twist as you go to the other side.
I think I'm just not going to put a bow on.
I really wasn't going to. I just kind of decided at the last minute. So because I'm a little less intimidated by bows now than I used to be, I guess. I used to be very intimidated by bows. If Mimi is still here, she knows what I'm talking about, right, Mimi? Mimi knows. You don't have to say anything. She saw my one bow debacle.
It was beautiful.
Well, the first one wasn't, but I'm getting better, huh, Mimi?
Yes, you are. And that is beautiful what you're doing tonight. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Let me put some dovetail on my ribbon here. And then all I'm really going to do is just put some leaves in and around my bow and my green. There's my scissors.
Can't see you, Christina.
How can you not see me?
It's just a black screen.
Oh, it's probably because Mimi was talking. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see
Okay,
it.
yeah, it's because it's the speaker view thing.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. It's Zoom. And I wasn't talking when Mimi was done talking, so it didn't go back to my face, and I apologize. And I'm not going to dovetail my my Deco mesh ribbon because it's supposed to, it's not, I don't really want that look for that. I just want to be a little, you know, just have some green here, so I'm not going to dovetail that. I did dovetail my plaid ribbon here though, so, but I'm just going to go ahead now and I'm going to add some, just add some leaves around there. That's all I'm going to do. And you are going to have to use some hot glue. Did I plug my glue gun in? Yes, I did. I think I just got these from the Dollar Tree, honestly. Dollar Tree's got some really, really pretty florals this year. What am I looking for here? I'm missing something and I can't find it. Here it is. So this is where you can kind of get creative. And I need my clippers. Now, the best way to attach your leaves is to get a little hot glue if you have a glue skillet or whatever, but you're going to have to kind of go right underneath your mesh, your little layers of mesh, because there's really no other place to glue. You know, you really can't glue it to your bow, you can't glue it to your Deco mesh ribbon, but you want to make sure it's going to stay. So you're going to have to kind of just go in between your little layers of mesh here. But be very careful because it should stick pretty quickly. But if you have to hold it with your hand, I would suggest getting the little fingertip glue thingies. But if you stick it right in there, it'll pretty much stay for you. I should get one of those glue skillets. It'd be a lot easier than my little glue gun. I'm always burning myself with my glue gun. Oh, my little feet, my little berries came off. Hold on. Pardon me while I'm holding this up. I'm just trying to stick it in there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in between my green, and that's going to kind of keep my green apart too. I don't want to kind of all necessarily be laying together. I want it to separate a little bit. Kind of like that. So go right in between my Deco mesh ribbon here with my leaves. you have little pumpkins you want to stick in there, I mean, but you are making a pumpkin, so putting more pumpkins in you might not necessarily have to do, but it's entirely up to you. Kind of go in the back a little bit behind your ribbon if you want, or your bow if you decide to add a bow. Make sure you cut enough off so you can really stick it up in there under the mesh, so you're not going to lose it. So I'm not done, but you can see what I'm kind of trying to do. Put some around the front, in between your green. I'm still not done. Stick some up back here. Again, if you want to put some on the bottom, I've seen, like Lenore said, some people put some along the bottom too. Pardon me, I'm just kind of holding it up so I can look at it. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see when it's laying flat on my table. It's coming along. Need a little bit more over here. Again, I'm just kind of sliding it underneath my layers of mesh on my pumpkin. And that's holding it for me. What's nice is these little leaf bundles bend too. So if you don't really like necessarily where it's laying, you can just give it a little bend, a little twist. I need one more bundle up here. I'm going to put some on the top too, I think. This is where you get into a situation of how much is too much or is not enough. And that's when you kind of have to stop and ask yourself, do I keep going or do I have enough? A little more berries on here, though. I'm trying to find a section of this that has some berries. It's got a couple little berries on there. I'm going to try to put both of these together, I think. I'm going to put some behind my bow, I think. I'm going to let you see in 1 second as soon as I get them in here. I just kind of wanted to add a few behind my bow. You can't really see them. My bow is kind of big. Let me take a look at that and see. I'm going to put one more bunch of leaves, I think, behind my bow because I can't really see the ones I just put there. And I want to be able to see them. I'll just cut my stem a little bit longer here. It's out a little bit more. I don't like that. I don't know, I think I'm done. I don't think I want to add any more. I think that looks pretty good. I don't want to go too crazy. Again, however many you add is entirely up to you. I'm trying to fix my dovetail here. That's good enough. So there it is. There's mine. I think I'm done.
I'm getting ready to post my picture to our page, so.
How long ago did you get done with yours?
You what?
How long ago did you get done with yours?
I just got done. I had to go
Oh, did
back.
you?
Huh?
You're a speed demon. I was going to say, how long have you been done?
No, I just got done because I went back and because my pumpkin was bigger, I needed to cut my 2.5-inch mesh longer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, I forgot about that you had a bigger
Yeah,
pumpkin.
I did too. So I thought, that doesn't look right. So I cut it longer. And I think I'm going to add some leaves to the bottom of my pumpkin tomorrow.
That's a good idea.
But,
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, but I'm done for tonight. So
I
y'all
think
have a great evening.
I think I'm done too. What do you guys think? Because how does it look? How does mine look?
It looks great.
Everybody else?
Yep, I love it.
Thank you. I may still play with it. You know, sometimes when I post a picture after class, it looks entirely different than when class ends because I still play with my creations after I get off camera, you know, and I add some stuff or I may move some stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
I added some sunflowers.
Yo, you know, that's a good idea. I've got some sunflowers. Maybe I'll throw a couple sunflowers in. Thanks, Lenore.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow for the tomato cage wreath or the tomato cage tree, whoever's going to join me for that.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Good night.